I'm confident they will find the people that did this, however many they may be. I am confident that it will be prosecuted at a state level, unless there is some kind of terrorism component to it, which it does not appear that there is, based on the facts that have been developed on the ground. Jean Peters Baker is the prosecutor in Kansas City that will be in charge of that prosecution. She has decades of experience in that office. He has been an assistant and the elected prosecutor now for some time. Stacey Graves, just like Jean Peters Baker, is the police chief. He is a 25-year veteran of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. These people know what they're doing. I will tell you what I think most of my friends are feeling right now in Kansas City is both heartbreak, but also anger. There is something that is the anger that people feel that someone would ruin this, that would ruin this sense of community, this joyous sense of community, is terrible. And Missouri has some of the most open, liberal gun laws in the country in terms of anybody can carry a long gun and open anywhere. Our police departments in urban areas are challenged by the laws because they are so limited as to what they can do with people who are carrying weapons of war openly on the streets of St. Louis and Kansas City. They want to make sure the Missouri legislature has been dominated. The Missouri has been dominated by rural leaders, Republican leaders, that think guns are okay because they relate to rural areas as opposed to 1 million people in a concentrated area, and the kind of damage that a long gun can do, especially one that can be fired rapidly to human life. So it is another sad, sad chapter in America's love affair with military-style long weapons that can kill a lot of people and hurt a lot of people in a short period of time. And I don't care if anybody says, oh, she's being political about guns at this terrible moment. Yeah, well, that's when you have to be. That's when people, I guarantee you that the majority of people in this country want something to change about how dangerous it has become to be in crowded urban spaces or schoolrooms. It is just unconscionable that we have allowed guns to go this far in this country.
Senator McCaskill, I am so grateful that you were in this chair on a very hard day. I want you to stick with us, and I want to go back to Frank Figliuzzi. And if our team could just pull up the images of what this parade looked like earlier in the day, the celebration that was going on in Kansas City, because I think people need to see that and be able to contrast it to the scenes that we are seeing now. Those photos of throngs of people happy, cheering, showing up, Frank, to celebrate a motorcade, a parade, all of the trappings of a celebration. I want you to pull a few threads through for me, Frank. I want you to talk about what we heard from Tom Winters vis-a-vis the likely criminal nature of this case, understanding that we're in the very early phases of this investigation. Some of what Claire talked about, how Missouri being an open carry state complicates scenarios like the one that we are watching right here, even a happy, festive day with this many people. And then the role that you would anticipate, Frank, the FBI is playing right now.
Yeah, there's a lot there, and as Claire said, it's early, but it's never too early to talk about, as she did, the role of weapons in our society. We just last weekend were reporting on a shooting at a megachurch in Houston, people going to their place of worship, and that being interrupted by gunfire and a fatality. And here we are with a joyous occasion in Kansas City, and the same thing happens. And too often, I think what the media finds is eventually a finding, perhaps, that, the perpetrators had lawful possession of those guns. Okay, and then they kind of wash their hands of it without a further analysis. Does that mean it's okay? Does that mean that those people should have had those guns, even though they might have possessed them lawfully? What do we know about them that would have caused us to do this better in terms of assessing and vetting people for gun ownership? What can be changed? And that's where we seem to fall down as a society. Not that we take constitutional rights away from people, but rather that we be more careful about who it is that we allow to exercise those rights in our society. So, with the role of the FBI here, as we had talked about just a minute ago, Alicia, the indicators that I saw were not leaning toward a planned terroristic event. That would have more likely happened in front of cameras, in the middle of the parade route, targeted high-profile people, that kind of thing. And we had the opposite happening here as the parade had wrapped up, and we have it happening at one end of the route as people are leaving. So the criminal thing makes sense here, and then Tom Winter is seemingly collaborating that, at least at this early stage, with the police sources that he has. So the FBI is going to look at this first and say, can we offer assistance in terms of crime scene analysis? So, state-of-the-art, computer-assisted graphics and design that will help map out exactly what happened and trace the route of the shooters using camera footage from throughout the city. Where did they start their journey? Where did they move? Who did they talk to? How did they end up where they ended up doing the shooting? Who did they interact with? It's a big city. There'll be lots of security